Hey guys, I'm Megan.
And I'm Stephanie, and we are
Barn Besties
with
farm fresh advice
for you. So we are here to impart the knowledge that we have learned over the years of building and running barns so that you guys don't have to have the problems and the misery and the mistakes that we made. Hope you enjoy our videos. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, right?
Right, and we hope to save you time and money on your new adventures.
Absolutely.
Hi guys, I'm Megan.
Hey guys, I'm Stephanie.
And we are
Barn
Besties with Farm Fresh Advice. We're here at Stephanie's.
We are.
What are we looking at, Stephers?
We're looking at my skid loader. This is the brand Bobcat.
I love me a Bobcat.
They're called skid steers, skid loaders. A lot of different brands make them. Yes, this.
So what is it? Because they always come with a number, guys.
Yeah. So
what's the number on this bus?
This is the S185.
Cameraman, check it out.
Woohoo.
They always have a little number.
Yep.
Fancy,
It's a model.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, your truck has got a name, right? My car has a name. Everybody, you know, they have a model. That's a model, S185. It's a reasonable size. Definitely not the largest Bobcat made. Yeah, I love it. So we had an older one and ended up trading up for this. A little bit bigger model, a little bit newer, had less hours on it. This came from obviously Bobcat and Madison. They've moved. They've long since moved, but this was leased from, it was either City of Madison or like Dane County Parks or something. So it had come back from a lease. And let me tell you, they're very well cared for when a municipality has them.
Are they? And they don't have problems?
They are.
Don't they usually use it for snow plowing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember what it was used. I don't know that we knew what it was used for because I don't remember if it was like Parks Department or City Med. Yeah, they use it for all kinds of stuff, landscaping, you name it. But you know, they'd done all the maintenance on it because all that stuff's done through like government and it's all mandatory through leasing and all that. But yeah, it was really great. I like the fact that the cab is enclosed.
Love it.
Really nice.
And is it heated?
It's very nice in Wisconsin because it has heat.
AC too,
now,
right?
you can of course take, no, we didn't get AC on this one, shockingly.
Okay.
So the thing is with the door, you have to be careful you don't accidentally rip the door open, but it has, as long as you do it right, it actually connects in because if you can see here,
yep,
we have a windshield wiper.
Yeah.
There's some electrical that obviously connects in to run the wiper. Yeah. So it knows when the door is open. It won't let you raise the boom.
Mine's not that smart.
So
we have a door.
Well, do you have a wiper on yours?
Yeah, and we have a wiper, but I took my door off because I was worried about breaking it. And then the other thing is I didn't want to repair the wiper, and the people that have been using it in the winter didn't want the door, which whatever.
Oh my gosh, I love the door in the winter time for anytime you're plowing snow and it's 10 degrees out or it's snowing out. You close the windows, you close the door, you turn the heat on. You don't even need a jacket.
Why did you feel the need you needed a Bobcat?
Okay.
Tell us why.
So when I first started with the farm, I was only feeding hay with small squares. Mm-hmm. And we were plowing snow with the tractor, which no cab.
Oh, that's so cold.
It was cold. Yeah. I was bundled, but I did that for probably 10 years.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. She was. Oh, I was bundled.
Oh.
You know that kid?
Heated vest?
You remember that kid? And no, they didn't have them back then. You remember that kid in A Christmas Carol when he's walking around like this because he's got so many layers on? That was me.
Yeah.
So eventually I started, you know, buying hay through hay auctions versus trying to find it locally. Just sometimes was easier. And I was looking at the large square bales and the round bales, and I wanted to buy them. And so for a while I was having to ask a neighbor to come unload the wagons
with their Bobcat.
And I was, and I was trying to just concentrate on square bales because the large squares I could back the UTV up and load the big flakes onto that and not need the skid loader to move them, to feed them or anything. But when it became easier to like look at round bales, then I was having to have the neighbor come out twice a week to put round bales out for me. And that was just got ridiculous.
Yeah.
So between all the hay situation and honestly the fact that plowing snow with we had, I don't know if you remember this, Megan, we had a record-setting winter one winter where we had 110 inches of snow.
Yeah.
So things like that, this can handle a lot more snow
Than the tractor.
Yeah. Can. And I was pretty adept at, plowing snow with the tractor. You kind of knew your limits, and this has limits too.
Yeah.
But
you can go anywhere, and it can be deep, and I feel like
I've buried this in snow.
You have? I have not.
I have. Well, because I kind of got off, and all I had to do was and I couldn't push with what I had on. I had the snow plow on it, and that's not a bucket.
Yeah, because
that has limitations. The bucket.
I get stuck in the mud with this, and I can work my way out.
You can work your way out with the bucket.
With the snow, yeah.
With the snow plow is a little different. It has the flex to it and stuff.
Yeah.
So not ideal to get stuck in that. But it was easy. All I had to do was dig the tire out and go. Was not happy about it, but they are very hard to get stuck.
Yeah.
These obviously has the 4 tires. You can get them with I don't know what they call it.
Tracks?
The tracks, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the tracks. So
no,
for me,
that's more construction site.
Yeah, but we've had big projects,
and
you can rip
the tracks off.
You can rip the tracks off. Also, every time you use them with the tracks, you need to hose them down. And I am not big on maintenance.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, with my horses I am, but not with my equipment.
Yeah.
And that's a real pain. And also you rip up your yard. You can still really rip up your yard with these tires.
Yeah.
But depending on how you drive, you can also save your yard.
You can see these tires are pretty worn.
Yeah.
They're starting to get to where you're sliding. I've been sliding a little in the winter on these. New tires, boy, oh boy.
Well, and the other...
You can really rip your yard up with new, because these are what you call an industrial tire.
Yeah.
And they would really rip up your yard.
And I do know that you can put different tires on.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And, so you can choose, because I had cement tires, and I really don't know the difference. I rely on other people who are handy.
Yeah. You're not driving on cement.
Yeah, I switched the tire. Well, and it was ripping up everything.
Right.
So we switched our tires out.
Right. So I love the full cab. Yep. Air conditioning in the summer would be great. However, I'm not in it enough for the expense.
For the AC, yeah.
I'm not like, if I was on a construction site and in this for 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, yeah, absolutely I would want that, but I'm not.
And how often would you say? Every 2 weeks you're moving hay in the summertime, and then in the winter time you're...
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in it. When we were bringing hay in off the field, I'm in it for a couple hours, but it's not a big deal. Like, I open up the windows. It does have a fan, obviously, because it's got heat and stuff in it. There is a little roof window you can take off to let air ventilation up the top.
I've never done that.
I don't do that because if you're moving hay, you're going to get it in all over you. I just don't do that, but you can. But yeah, love it. Love the heat in the winter.
Now, do you drive it with the foot pedals or the hand?
Yep. So there's 2 options. You can get hand or you can get foot. Obviously it comes with the driving things. Maybe we can come around and look.
Yeah, let's check it out.
We'll open her up. And she's dirty. She's dirty. So Mr. Cameraman, maybe you can see. So obviously the steering is here. Forwards, backwards, side to side.
And it's like a lawnmower.
It's like a zero-turn lawnmower. But this one's got foot pedals, and that raises the boom and lowers the boom. You're not going to probably be able to see them without climbing in there. It's not worth it, but some of them will raise and lower the boom.
Yours is so much cleaner
and
fancier than mine. Look at that.
It's probably newer.
Yeah. It's nicer.
And I'm pretty sure you can get fancy seating. Yeah. All that too. As you can see, there's the seat belt. I have the ear covering in here.
Do you put on the seat belt?
When I'm out anywhere near the hills, I do.
You do?
Absolutely.
I don't.
Most people that get killed in these things, they're either running somebody over or they've rolled it and ejected and gotten killed.
Yeah, that ejected. Way. Yeah, and you need to be careful when you are walking around one of these.
They can't see you.
As a driver, I can't see anything.
You can't.
And so you need to stay 10 feet away. You will be run over.
Yeah, sadly, I've seen in the news where like an elderly farm couple.
Yeah. This is a dangerous piece of equipment.
The husband will not realize the
Yep.
wife's coming out. She walks right in where he can't see, and
there
tragedy
you go.
happens. So
Yeah.
you have to be very careful. She does have lights. This one does have backup alarming on it. So if I am in it, running it and backing up, it does the typical, as you've heard many times,
drives me batty,
yep.
but it will save a life.
That's because
I love
the
it.
driver can't see
Yep.
you. The driver's letting everybody know you're in reverse and you can't see. There's no rear view mirror in this mine. You obviously have limited view through that window in the back.
And if you have something in front, like if you have a hay bale,
Yeah.
I know with shavings, I've unloaded shavings, you can't see a thing. And actually, I've had to rely on people. So when I'm unloading pallets, I rely on people to tell me when I've hit the next load of pallets. So you guys, anytime you're working with this, you need to be serious. This is a dangerous piece of equipment.
Not only for people on the ground, but like you said, the driver has to be aware of buildings and fencing, because you can tear a building down with this.
Oh, and I can tell you a story that we have. I went to a horse show, and that time we were borrowing a bobcat, and they left the bobcat in our hay shed, and I said,
yes,
I'll be back. We'll do it on Sunday. My Mumsy, you'll get to see Mumsy in our videos, I'm sure, had her friend hop in, and they actually didn't know how to drive a bobcat and blew right through my hay shed, and I had to rebuild. So very dangerous piece of equipment. Yes.
Yeah, if you're going to learn how to do this, I recommend an open field. Have somebody drive it out into an open field so you're near nothing.
And the other good insight is when you're hopping around, because for me, when I learned, I got it going and rocking, and that scared. I hate roller coaster rides. This is a roller coaster ride.
You can rock this because of the short wheelbase.
You let go and it'll stop. So don't keep holding on and rocking it.
You just make it worse.
Let go.
Make it worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is balanced specifically to have things hanging out the front, weight on the front.
Yep.
So when you don't have anything on the front, she's tippier.
It will tip back. So don't go up a hill without anything in the front. If anything, go backwards. We have a lot of hills on our farm. I go backwards up the hill. And in it, you will tilt it. I've tilted a little bit, and as soon as you do that,
this is where it's important to be seat belted in.
Yep. Yep. And then are they easy to work on? What's the maintenance?
Well, so it's funny you ask that. So back in my younger years, when I came out of college, I worked for a farm equipment dealership, and I was in the service department. So we got tractors, all the farm equipment, including skid loaders. Now, we didn't service this brand, but they're all the same. They all look the same. They're essentially the same, right? They're a little tricky to service because they're pretty compact.
And it's all under.
It is.
And
it's all under through the back.
Yep. And you got to rip things out in order to get to it.
It's tricky. I mean, it's got a nice big back door to get at the engine and all that. But yeah, some of it's really hard to get at. One of the things you want to make sure you're aware of, this is what's called the boom. This is what raises and lowers. If you need to have this up to work on it, there are, if Mr. Cameraman wants to see this, there are these things that will lock out, these sleeves that will lock it out, so you don't accidentally have the boom come down upon yourself.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. That will be a bad day.
Yeah.
A very bad day.
Show them the back end too. And
so yeah, we can come around. Fuel. Oh, she's so dirty. So like we said, this is the access point for the engine. It's heavy. It's got some sound muffling. But yeah, here's where you're going to get at things like, you need to do maintenance. This is your air filters, right? You got oil filters, hydraulic filters. This is where you put the diesel in. This is a diesel equipment.
And I love how you write on it. I think that's really important to write the last time it was serviced right on it.
It's not as much of the date on these things as much as the number of hours you're putting on your equipment. So you do put your date on here, but you do put your hours, especially for like me. If I use this an hour a week, that's a lot.
Yeah.
There's times where I'll use this for 15 minutes for a week.
Yeah.
So it might take an entire month to put 1 hour on it.
Yep.
So, that's important.
And make sure when you're filling, the other thing is, so again, we're kind of hilly, and this door will close, at least
or the wind will catch it.
Yeah. I mean, yours is heavy, and it also seems like it doesn't swing as much as mine.
We're pretty protected right here.
I like to kind of put it at an angle so it stays closed, because it's really a pain to be juggling and holding the door open.
So you're talking about filling it with a can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's generally what I do. Some people have the
hose.
the hose and all that, but yep. Or I'll use a piece of wood to kind of prop it.
I've done that. I've done a pitchfork.
Yeah, I'm with you. I prefer to kind of have it where it's the weight is swinging the door away.
Yep.
But yeah.
And then
and then like, you know, here's the muffler. Obviously, it's getting air in through here. Obviously, as you can see, I'm moving hay with it. So I do try to keep the air flows open. Obviously, these bigger ones are bigger than this, but you know, it's also a fire hazard.
Yeah. Well, it's really important
I've had
with my
a couple of neighbors burn these up
to redo the air filter, to replace it. I think that's really important because sand, hay, dirt, because you're on a farm.
Yep.
So
and
that's
it'll have an inner filter and an outer filter. Yeah, I think we were talking about fueling it up. It's important to, when you pull it out and you need to fuel it up, open it up, walk away, let it cool down. You don't want to be fueling these up when they're hot. That is asking for a fire. So I will do that. I'll run it. I'll back it up where it's close to kind of where we're at. I'll open it up and I'll walk away for a half hour and let all that, because this just lets the heat right out. Then I can come in and fill it up, no problem. But you don't want to be filling these up.
Yep.
But she's also got all kinds of attachments. So
I can't wait to talk about attachments, and also check the door. Sometimes when I've closed it,
you don't get it all the way.
I don't get it all the way, and then I'm driving around with the back end open.
So it's going to be loud, but give her a slam, Megan. There you go. And what you can do is just pull.
Check it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Can't get her. Okay, so what we have on the front is actually, since we're talking about what I generally use it for, these are what are called the hay spears.
Ooh, I love your hay spears.
They're pretty intense.
These are amazing hay spears.
Yep.
Mine are homemade.
Yeah, and a lot of people, honestly, make them homemade for exactly what they need them for. If you are only dealing with the large square bales, this is not great. Not a great setup.
Why?
Because they're almost too thick and too deep. You're going to go almost all the way through the bale.
Okay.
So you might end up with something a little thinner and a little shorter.
Are thinner and shorter, but I don't feel like they're long enough.
They might not be long enough.
And then they're going to...
Yeah, so this might be a little...
I like this one.
I have used them before, but this is fantastic.
Mine are great
for my round bales.
I was just going to say, mine are great for the round bales, a little bit shorter. Also,
how long are your tines, and how many tines do you have?
So we have a long one and two short ones.
Oh, sure. I've seen that.
And so
you have a main spear.
Spin around on the round bale.
You have a main spear, and I've seen those. Those are...
Yeah,
I've seen a ton of those.
It's great. Nice. The other thing I like, it's just like your pallet forks. It has like a little keeper here, right?
Sure, a guard.
Yeah, and it stops it. So I like that.
Wise.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So So
I don't know if you can see this, but this is traction on how because you step right there. You step right there. It's got a little traction, so you don't slip and fall.
And this makes it easier to get into the Bobcat.
Just like you've got the traction right here.
What is that? That is a pallet fork.
Pallet fork, yeah.
The pallet fork is harder to get in because the guard is here.
The guard.
Yeah, so you can have two options.
And the guard plus the door.
Yeah.
You got to shimmy in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like these. I believe I've bent them on occasion.
Oh, yeah?
Just a little bent. Not a lot, but you can. The funny thing is if you're not paying attention, you're driving along, there's nothing on it, and you accidentally tap. Like, say you bounce and you tap your foot, you can accidentally drive these into the ground.
Oh, yeah. Because I've done that.
Yep. So you can row some harrows.
Now,
it's not ideal.
Steph, you don't have to pull these.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We fancy.
I have old school
So
Bobcat.
my old school Bobcat was, and I had like a pipe.
Yeah, I have a pipe too.
Yeah. The way to go.
Because
especially in winter.
I'm always like, come on. And I don't know if it's because I'm just not strong enough. Any guy that comes on the farm, they're just like, what's your problem? And they just
yank up.
Pull it up because that's how you detach. So do you want to show us how you...
Yeah, before we do that though, that is one, this whole mechanism here is one that you need to keep greased. Because especially if we're talking about plowing snow, you get a lot of water, moisture in there, a lot of snow buildup and things. It will rust.
Oh,
I had an issue last winter where this side wouldn't go down because she was rusting up. We had such a weird winter last winter.
We did.
It was a long time between snowfalls, and honestly, I don't have a heated area for this. So when she's full of snow, she's full of snow.
Yeah.
there's nowhere for her to thaw out. I don't have anywhere that's heated to bring the equipment in. That would be ideal. But so it took some extra greasing and some really working it to kind of break her free. But yeah, you want to keep, honestly, that's one of the things with these equipment. You've got to do your maintenance, keep them greased up. And they're grease beasts. I mean, so this is what's called the remotes. This is, we can talk about this later when we're showing the snowplow. But this is where the hydraulic hoses
Hate them.
are. I know they're challenging.
They're awful,
but this is where they connect in, and I've got them. Obviously, they're dirty right now because I've been using the hydraulics on them lately. But they're called the remotes. And you can see more hydraulic lines running through here.
And when you break one, not fun.
No, because the hydraulic fluid goes everywhere, and it's not good. It's not good for the environment. No. So, right. But yeah, we can let her run. Megan, why don't I give you this because it's gonna be kind of loud.
You won't hear us for a little while, but you can see how cool it
we'll
is.
Open her up. I'll show you how you get in. You can either go from the side, where, as we talked about the pallet jack, I need to shimmy up from the side because it's got a guard. But like I said, this one's got the foothold here. I do this. And we always talk for safety-wise. This is, having been the safety officer at my company for a long time, 3 points of contact, because especially rain or winter here in Wisconsin with the snow, very slippery. Like I was talking about the snow plows, there's always snow or ice on these.
Yep.
So you want 3 points of contacts. You always want either 2 hands and 1 foot, 2 feet and 1 hand. Because I've slipped and had my life flash before me coming out of this in the wintertime.
Let's see it.
Yeah. So anyway, you know, you do your 1, 2, 3. This one's up, so 3.
She's on the move,
always
people.
3 points of contact. And I don't know, Megan, do you have a door? You had a door.
I had a door.
Handle right here, which is kind of nice. But I just shimmy in.
I think I just have a handle on the side. Yeah.
So,
look at her go.
Of course, if I were actually going to go somewhere, I'd be belting up. This has to come down. I'm going to have to close the door.
All right, she's closing the door. It's going to get quiet for a little while. Check it out. This is cool. She hits a button. She's going to hit the button and look at it opens one at a time. That's pretty fancy. And cameraman, you want to see it from the side how she does the angle. It's really cool. You just kind of flip it and then she's detached. Pretty fancy. And then she's closing them up again. Magical. Pretty magical. Now she's opening them up again. So you never have to get out of the Bobcat. You never have to wrestle with it.
Okay, for now that's pretty good. Now again, getting out. This is where
You've fallen.
I have fallen. Let me put this. I'll
Don't
put
fall.
this back on.
Otherwise
But
I might,
this is where it's
laugh at you.
extremely dangerous. So you've got a handle here. You do have this here. I do kind of do this. Now this is normally if you had an attachment on there, you could shimmy off of it pretty easily.
Yeah.
All I've got on there is the hydraulic, so I do step on the ram.
Yeah.
And I'm careful. Did you see me slide?
Yeah.
So even sit down. Yeah, I'm gonna get dirty, but this would be painful to land on.
Yeah.
This would break some bones, probably remove some teeth. Don't want that. So yep, we went ahead in. There's buttons on the top where I can, you saw me open, close, open, close. I backed up. You can see I used my feet to do this.
It's magical.
You talked about yours being homemade.
Yeah, we'll show you.
So you can buy what are called the quick attach plates. Which this doesn't have a good example of it, and you can make them homemade. I know a ton of people have done that.
Yeah.
And they do that for a variety of different, not just the hay spears.
Yeah.
You can make all kinds of stuff.
And if you can weld, you're good to go.
Yeah, or you know a welder.
Create it yourself. Yeah.
Bob Quick Attach, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
I think. So, yep,
this is great.
Love the hydraulics here. Obviously, this ram is hydraulically run. That's why I was able to just sit in there and didn't have to do it by hand.
Highly recommend spend the extra money if you can, because I have wrestled my Bobcat.
I don't know if they even sell them anymore without this.
Oh, really?
It might be now. Well, you know how it was? Remember when airbags were a thing only the luxury cars had? And now all cars come standard with them?
Yeah.
This might be something that's finally, it's just standard now with like the
Thank
latest and
God.
greatest models.
But unfortunately, I'm not looking for a new Bobcat.
Yeah.
Knock on something that I don't need to replace it. So
right,
yeah.
right. So the funny thing in with this is because this has a windshield wiper, it does have a windshield wiper fluid little well or reservoir.
Yeah.
And it's right here. So
It's a little cutie.
it's actually, you can fill it with windshield wiper fluid and you can actually tell it to squeeze windshield wiper fluid off. I can tell you, I think I've used this twice.
Yeah, mine
It's just not
broke,
worth
so
it.
we didn't. Our windshield wiper broke. So
I think this is a little hokey, but you can see the electrical. You see this one runs to the door latch. This is what's telling
it to do it.
The Bobcat that the door is open, and it will not unlock the boom with this open.
Oh, that's great.
So it knows when it's connected in here. It knows when it's open, and it just won't.
All right.
It just keeps going. It'll just make a horrible squeal.
Cool.
But yeah.
Well, thanks.
They're not inexpensive, Megan.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do it and you can find one used, this was used because they are expensive, but honestly,
oh, they're worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it in
Absolutely.
the time that it takes to plow and do all the move hay. They're totally worth it.
You can put a lawnmower on the front of this.
Yeah, we have a brush hog.
A brush hog. Yeah. If you've got an area of woods that you're trying to knock or alongside of a field where I have to deal constantly with invasive sumac. Mm-hmm. Oh, this thing's perfect for it. Mm-hmm. And I've gone in our woods and knocked down small trees and things.
Oh,
and,
I love knocking down
mowed,
trees.
and the thing is, again, really tippy.
Yeah.
So if you're on a hill,
be careful.
You have to be careful.
Be careful.
But again, strapped in, and one of the things I did not remember to show, Mr. Cameraman, if you can. You can't really tell here, but Megan, have you rocked her back on her back?
I have.
I have too.
Yeah.
So she you can rock her back to a point, but then she stops because she rests on this. Yep. I've done that.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Scary. Yeah.
But you just have to remember to put your boom down and
it'll come back.
It will come back down onto the wheels.
It's absolutely terrifying.
This piece of equipment,
it's a heck of a ride.
It's a mind game sometimes with. Yeah, it's almost
go slow.
You have to go slow.
Slower is better
because sometimes your knee-jerk reaction is not.
It's to panic and
do absolutely the exact opposite of what you need to do to right yourself. So she's definitely. Yeah. But best thing ever on a farm.
Definitely.
So many uses. So we're going to talk about that in another video. We're going to talk about a couple of the attachments that I have. We indicated briefly today. I've got a pallet fork for it, and we've got a snow plow for the front of it. Now, you can also get a snow blower, which I don't have. My neighbor has.
I want one of those.
So, honestly,
no?
Only if you get a lot of snow.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, they don't work that great.
Okay.
So, but we'll talk about that in another video. All right? So, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Let us know what questions you have. Again, we're going to have at least a part 2. I think we'll probably put them both together. In a part 2, we'll talk about the pallet jacks. I used to, like you said, have a mower. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can add yours in.
Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be part 2, and there might be a part 3.
Might be a part 4.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. Please, if you get a chance, hit the subscribe button or verify you're still subscribed. Hit the like button. Leave us questions or comments down below. We'll attempt to address them in a future video. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.